The paper looking back on 10 years of expanded animation symposium explains the various tasks of organizing, documenting, and archiving the symposium together with students, and how we can involve students in this whole process. So I think I can link to some discussions that we've already had on the topic on volunteers. Involving students in such an event is of course not new, but we think that how we did it in the last 10 years is quite value to share it with you. We have some guidelines that we will provide. And especially this event production, this is an elective course I will introduce in this presentation. And event production, expanded animation is of course a collaboration with a lot of people. You already mentioned my colleagues, but there are a lot of people involved, not only students, also colleagues from my university. I will briefly introduce the symposium expanded animation. I will need 3 minutes, and the first minute is a teaser of the 10 years made by students, and the last 10 seconds is a compilation of the trailers from the students they produced. So let's start the trailer. So many venues, a hybrid system with performances, artistic presentations, scientific presentations. It's really challenging to archive. And it's a collaboration with the University of Applied Sciences of Austria and Ars Electronica since 10 years. And if you are interested in more details, there is a QR code. There is still the QR code here. I would just like to mention that this symposium is already a 3-day or maybe this year 4-day event with further collaborations like this very nice collaboration since 2020 with Brigitte Hosea on the topic synesthetic syntax. So we are interested in still call for presentations. The deadline is end of May, so you can still apply. Yeah, in total, we have featured in the last 10 years roughly 200 presenters, artists, presentation at very special venues like Deep Space, etc. And now, based on this symposium, we will present guidelines how to organize documentation is very important in archive the symposium with students. This figure shows how the symposium is, not this figure. This figure shows how the symposium is integrated in our media department. So there are 3 pillars: organizing and preparation. So this will be my focus. Summer school, since a couple of years, we are also organizing a summer school for our students. And then there is contextualization. So the archive, the video documentations is also the basis for a lot of courses on animation studies, film studies, media studies. So how we can integrate them. So there's a picture from last year. Students are sitting, organizing hybrid settings like we had, connecting virtual people, very challenging. So we came up with this idea after the first edition, an elective course, event production. Existing educational focus was used to promote needed content. So 2D and 3D animation courses serve the basis for the trailer production, web design, and technology to develop, maintain, and update, redesign the website. It's very important. 2D design motion graphics also for web design, social media, live production, poster, flyer, etc. So I will skip this. What we, of course, have to face when we are working with a lot of students, we will split it up in groups. Organization of large events is important, scouting the venue, planning an event, communicating with all the people, producing the actual event. So we need camera, sound, and lighting for live events, directing, recording, streaming, everything is kind of professional. And this serves, of course, the basis for archiving all the videos for our channel. What you see here is the website. The website has been, since the beginning, a self-created and self-hosted project that is quite important. We already heard that WordPress is a very good platform. We've decided 10 years ago, it's still WordPress, but we are challenging. We have a lot of challenges because we have to keep the third-party code low and the plugins. And when there is an update, we always have some issues with that. But this is not super fancy, but it's very important to involve the students. So it's easy, the students know the platform and they can easily work with the database already. So with the backend structure, bring all the data that is coming every year in this database. So it's still a work in progress, but after a couple of years, we faced all these big data and we redesigned it. The theme has to be updated. So there is a lot of issues that the students are dealing with us. And actually Wolfgang, my colleague, is responsible for that task. This was the starting point 10 years ago with so-called chained animations. So 12 students started creating a trailer. So there was nothing, just the idea that we will do in 6 months or 8 months a project. And chained animation means that every student created just a couple of seconds and they chained all the things together. And this was the starting point. So with this trailer, we started designing the website, the logo, and everything. And this is still the same procedure. So if you look at 2018, you can see there is a trailer on Vimeo, there is a website, there are all the printed materials, etc., always based on the trailer. And the trailer production, since the beginning, is always included within this event production. So since the beginning, we also streamed the symposium. That was quite challenging at the beginning, but right now we are quite experienced. So we also provide the streaming connected to the time zone UR actually. That was a plugin we developed at the beginning of the pandemic. After 8 years, we switched from Vimeo to YouTube due to the pandemic. And live streaming on YouTube gave us, of course, a new way to communicate with our audience. So we immediately can produce the video on YouTube. And the first 8 editions, we did a lot of post-processing. So what you see here is the archive at the expanded animation. What means, here it is, that we recorded the talk with 2 or 3 cameras, and then it took us a couple of months to produce the videos. What is also quite interesting is that since a couple of years, we are connecting with ISEA Archive. So all the material is also online on Talks and Lecture, and also on the archive of ISEA. That is quite important. So if we think about, okay, there is maybe no YouTube and no WordPress in the future, so there is still maybe a video documentation on Ars Electronica, or for instance, Dorf TV, that's a local broadcaster. So we have already 3 channels to archive the material. To sum up, organizing, documenting and archiving a hybrid symposium in educational context opens many spheres of activities. Integrating students into this process is a mutual beneficial act. Students gain insight into the organization of an interdisciplinary multi-day event in their fields of studies. Students can particularly apply their knowledge in a real-world scenario. The organizers have a steady pool of possible volunteers that makes organizing such an event even possible. So we have 20 volunteers a year. The course event production provides the basis to collaborate with the students, since the students know which technology and which tasks they can take over. They are more likely to volunteer. The result is an ideal educational scenario where students work on the basis of equality with lecturers and professors. And what is quite interesting is that we have a lot of volunteers coming again and again, and they pass their knowledge to colleagues from lower semesters. So this is really very nice to see what is happening without any further ado from our side. So to sum up, the students benefit in 2 ways. They get insight into current positions in expanded animation, and they learn how to do production. Thank you.